What is going on, agency owners? This is Jordan Ross, founder of Eight Figure Agency, where we make it possible for you to build a thriving, growing eight-figure business without needing you in the operation. Today, we got a really fucking awesome guest. I got a friend, longtime client of ADAF, Kevin Weatherall, founder of Fluenti Marketing and Rising Tide. And this guy's a serial entrepreneur. This guy's badass, and this guy has had a really cool journey with us over the last 10 months. So, Kevin, for everyone who does not know you, who's Kevin Weatherall, like what they gotta know about your agency and your physical products business.
Yeah, excited to be here, Jordan, obviously. So I run two businesses, like you kind of mentioned. One's a full service Amazon marketing agency where we work with primarily food and supplement brands to help them grow and scale on Amazon. But as you mentioned, I also have my own basically food and supplement business as well, which ties up nicely with everything that I've learned running an agency. And we sell that on Amazon and then several grocery stores throughout the country and on our website.
Shout out Air One. You still in Air One?
Yeah, we're still in Erewhon, and our products are our main flagship product is a brain boosting coffee creamer, but we're about to launch about four more SKUs, something really cool in the pipeline. You guys are going to want to
Wow.
pay attention to.
Wow. Really cool. So I love that. We'll talk a little bit about that. And you have to you have to text me where to go to buy. I don't do dairy, but I'll buy it. Just
Well,
say,
it's
like,
not
send me a
dairy.
picture.
It's also it's a plant-based creamer, so it's coconut
Oh
based.
my God.
All our products are,
You need to
are that.
send me this shit, bro. All right.
Yeah.
So where I want to start with this conversation is April 2022, right? We actually started engaging with one another. And I think we started our first conversation probably in March. And where you were at in that part of the journey, I think you're doing like roughly 20K a month. I want to invest in my business, but that's a scary thing. What if I don't get ROI, right? That you had a lot of the thoughts that pretty much everyone does, especially at 20K. Can you reflect back on that time, like 10 months ago? Like, what was going through your head? Why did you make an investment to grow your business? Like, and what ended up happening as a result of that investment? Obviously, it's with us, ADF, but I think it's really important because you went through a big shift. You guys have grown a lot. And you have a lot of financial stability now as a result of that too.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think, and it's always part of business. I even feel the same way now. It's when to push the throttle down versus when to protect the nest, right? So even at that point, I had gotten to, like you alluded to, about 20K. So I was starting to make good money, and I was primarily working it by myself, but I was burning hours, and it was hard to really scale beyond that point without pushing the next level. And I had this other business, so I was working around the clock. Not to mention, I had the time, or actually, I did by then have three kids, so all under three. So just absolute chaos.
So little. That's crazy. Two businesses, three kids, and you have to be a husband too. Like people
Yeah,
don't talk about that on the being a husband. Like you have to there's commitment and time that takes to being a good husband on top of being a good father, right?
100%. So to your point, exactly. Happy wife, happy life, right? So you got to support your wife and then take care of the little ones. And then you probably just saw my dog behind me. So I got one of those as well. And not to mention, we had just gotten a new house we were remodeling, which I'm in now, and then other actually family stuff. So absolute chaos. I'm going, I know there's more potential for my business. It's always been my dream to scale a business, all that stuff, but very scary, right? With all those variables and wanting to protect the nest egg. And I think I'd come across you, and it was at the right time where I felt like I needed somebody to help me, push me to get to where I knew I could go, but I really was stuck in being able to do it on my own, just mentally getting over those
Yeah.
hurdles.
And there was a lot of fear and skepticism too, rightfully so. And I think that one of the things I think super unfortunate, most consultants or vendors, Amazon agencies too, most people suck, right? So there was a lot of like apprehension. I have all this shit up in the air. I got kids, I got the house, I got this other business. And then there's also, do I have the time? So
Right.
when you made this investment, why, what was like the deciding factor? Fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger. Like what made you do that? And then let's go through over the first 3, 6 months. Like what are some tangible things you actually started to build that allowed you to start getting some time back, starting to grow?
Yeah. So what made me, pull the trigger? That's a tricky one. I'm going back to that time, but I think I think I had some more opportunities lined up, and I just seen that ever flow of the business going up, and me being overworked and not being able to handle it, and knowing that I was capped at that current run rate, but not knowing what to do to open it up to grow. And so I knew I needed an expert. And everyone always says, you can't do it on your own, or you need to invest in learning. You got to invest in yourself, right? And
Got
so
it.
I think at that time it was for me, well, this is an investment in myself. And for me, who again, like you said, it's hard to really push to invest, and based on my background, all that stuff. I don't know. The timing felt right.
Beautiful. And let's scope out now. You make this investment, start leaning in. 3, 6, 9 months. Like, what are some of the systems you had built that are actually helping you grow the business now? Because you guys have grown, and a big part of that is just you didn't have the time to take on more clients and shit. So, like, what are some of the key things that you did that allowed you to actually start to grow?
Yeah, well, I think one of them is having, project management software, right? So we use ClickUp, shout out ClickUp. Uh, didn't have project management software. I was mapping this all out in Excel, and I'm not a
So,
super detail organized person anyways. I had, notebooks and all that stuff. So, and Google Docs. I mean, I've always used Google as kind of the backbone, but getting a project management software not only to organize stuff, but then ultimately to be able to work with multiple people. So project management software, I still don't love it, but it's just core to running an agency, and a lot of
yeah,
businesses gotta have it. So that's one big one. A system for how to hire people, right? I think in a process for how to do that. I at the time only I think had some small consultants working with me, but I knew I needed to bring in somebody a little bit more full time, and we've since brought on a few more beyond that. But mapping out how we were going to hire those people, all the levers you needed to pull, what websites use, all that stuff, was going to be core. And then, beyond that, I think, to your point, I think earlier, maybe you said this or not, but mapping out goal setting, right? 30, 60, 90 days. What do we want to accomplish? What are the levers we need to pull? Keeping it simple, but yet focused, so that we could build a path to the growth you kind of alluded to.
yeah. So project management. So we built the workflow out with you. Step
Yep.
1, all the way to last step. Let's put third and ClickUp. Step 2, let's figure out, now that we have a process, let's figure out who we're going to hire. And I remember I really appreciate that you were asking us a lot of questions. I could like tangibly think of, you're sending us things about this person, this posting, and we were talking about that. And then like just reverse engineering your success, right? Like if you don't have a destination, you're never going to get there. And I think these are so fundamental and so simple, but it's a lot easier when you actually are working through this consistently with someone to ensure they're getting done. So that really impacted the agency. One thing that you have that most people that we don't work with have is another business. I
Mhm.
know how the agency's grown, right? You've been adding 40, 50 K MRR, like bigger journey now, more clients. What has happened? Because I have not asked with this other business, right? You're about to launch 4 SKUs, but like, has there been a trickle down effect impact on the second business as a result of this too?
Yeah, the other business has actually doubled as well.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
If not more. So, yeah, I took a lot of the same ideals. I don't have and I actually use the same project management software for that business. It's kind of, we have it separated, but they are connected. But ultimately, what I ended up doing is, once I got this other business going, it generated more capital and revenue, obviously, and profit. And so, and I had these processes, so I was able to invest in that business as well, which had always been my dream. I brought on a
I
person
remember that.
to that company, um, and yeah, it's working. Things are moving.
So the agency tripled, the other business doubled. You're about to launch 4 SKUs. When you think about this year, you're about to launch 4 more SKUs. How do you expect the growth trajectory of your supplement and health brand? Where do you think that's going to
Yeah,
go this year?
I mean, I'm trying to get it to be another 2 to 3x. I mean, I'm trying to turn this into a multi-million-dollar business, like, for sure. The supplement, the food brand, and I'd
I was
like to have
gonna
agency there too, but I need a lot more help. Obviously, I'm
I
not
was
there.
gonna say, is that gonna be like, when you think about the long term trajectory of both these things. Is that the cash cow for you? Like, is the supplement the one that's going to be the bigger, more cash flow, better margins, more scalable? Is that, and then the agency gives us cash flow, still good margins, and we could reinvest that. How do you see these two interweaving, and like what's the long term for both of them?
Well, the great thing is they interweave perfectly because you need to sell your products on
On
Amazon.
Amazon,
It's
yeah,
all kind of connected. Like in actually, one thing before I get into that, the other part of that question, I'll say is I'd always been fearful about having two businesses and then also that are related, and then also thinking that my clients would be upset that I was having this other business in their in potential categories. And the truth is it only helps them,
I was
right?
gonna say that helps them. You have more data.
Yeah, more data, and I know what it's like to run a business and how to be profitable and not to blow their money and all that stuff. So it actually is a real benefit. But to go back to revenue, profit, all that stuff, um, profit is better on the agency until you fully scale a product business, because and cash flow is also trickier with a product business because you have to invest in inventory and all that stuff up front. The real vision for the product business is hopefully to scale it to be more profitable, but potentially to eventually sell it.
Yeah,
Product businesses sell for greater multiples than typically agencies, to my knowledge.
I love it. So you grew the agency. You had more cash available to invest in this product business, where you probably were able to invest in more inventory. You're able to. I'm assuming there was some investment to like R&D to like build different SKUs, right? And then obviously, so let me ask you this: looking back, it's been, we're like 10 months into the journey. You've had two businesses, one's tripled, one's doubled. Biggest takeaways just from collaborating with us, growing your businesses. What are the big takeaways as you look back? And the things that got us here were simple, right? It was templatize process management, project management, learn how to hire the right people, put them in the right processes, reverse engineer success, and then manage them. Like, it wasn't a significant amount of variables that allowed you to get more time back. So like, looking back on this journey over 10 months, biggest takeaways, biggest insights for you as a multi-entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I think the first thing in which you guys have been a huge help at is having somebody in your court to push you and help you build that plan and the map to where you want to get. Because when you're by yourself as an entrepreneur, it can be pretty lonely. And so you guys have been instrumental in being that, right hand man when I didn't have a partner to kind of help me find that path, but then also push me. You need people in your life to push you, even if you're super, aggressive and excited person. Like, you still need someone there to help, right? And to teach and to learn from. So I think having that is has been really helpful, beyond all the other things you guys have taught me about processes and hiring people and all that. Just having somebody there to push you has been a huge help.
I love it. I actually did not think that was going to be the insight. And I honestly take it for granted that, obviously when I run a consulting business, I'm a big believer there are so many people that are thought leaders, and those are people that spew bullshit. They don't actually do the thing. You of all people are a practice leader. I have my own business. I have my own supplement business, right? And I'm actually helping you grow your business on Amazon. We're kind of the same way. We run a consultancy, and I hire a lot of consultants. I looked at my looked at my credit card list. I'm like, oh, $10,000. What's that? And I'm like, oh yeah, we got charged with these different consultants. So I think I take it for granted that I always have people in my corner. I never go any time without being able to ask those questions to those people. Like, for me, my thing is marketing. Like, your thing is ops. My thing, I need people to go to for marketing because I'm not naturally a marketer. So I think it's so overlooked when you have someone in your corner, just how it expedites and also makes you feel good. I walk away knowing I got people that really have my back and I'm not going to get fucked over no matter what. And I think that makes a huge difference. And shit's lonely too. I remember years ago, you brought it up on this call. I forgot how lonely this journey can be. But that's not even a thought process in my mind. I feel like, especially now, the community that we have, I feel more connected now than ever. So thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, totally. Sorry for my scratching dog.
I can't hear. I
House.
can't hear
Oh,
that. But
perfect.
I could see him or her. She or he looks
Layla.
adorable. He
Layla.
looks adorable.
Thanks. And one other thing I'll say is the biggest, I think, part of what's helped me, kind of grow is and is something to always remember is people. You can't do it on your own. You have to find good people. You have to trust them. You have to train them. Um, and they will get you there. You can't do it on your own. You really can't. Like I
That's well
thought I
said.
could, but you can't. You got to get those people.
I love that. So let me ask you this, and as like almost like as a final question of the conversation. If there's someone that's listening that, might be considering working with that ADAF, might be considering making an investment into a consultancy or something like that, what would you tell those people? Whether it's about ADAF or just about making an investment to like work with a specific provider.
Yeah, and sorry again. Now my wife just came back. I got kids screaming
You're all
potentially,
good. Can't
but
hear any of it.
I would say you like I mentioned earlier, you got to at some point invest in yourself, and I think it's important to the quick way to do this is to partner with somebody who's already done it or has experience in the space and knows where to take you. And you guys have been, amazing partner in that capacity. And it is an upfront investment, right? But that's what everything is. Everything that is going to make a big difference in your business, you're going to have to go a little bit over your skis. And for me, especially as someone who doesn't like to go too far over their skis, I'm actually a snowboarder. Like this was a big jump for me, and it worked. Um, and so I would say, there's these points in business where you have to take those leaps, and you're just gonna have to you're gonna research it and all that, but you're just gonna have to do it and
You
believe.
gotta make yeah. And even at my run rate, so like just to give you guys context where we're at as in February. So we're exceeding the $2 million run rate. And even yesterday, I mentioned it casually, like I saw $10,000. I saw a $10,000 credit card charge. I'm like, oh, that hurts. That's scary, right? And I
Yep.
think for me, like you say that, like what resonates for me, even at my stage, it's still happening, and I'm still like making a $10,000 investment. It's still a leap of faith because that shit could go sideways. But every time I do it, it, when I've done it with the right people, it always comes back tenfold, like crazy amounts. So Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. If we have listeners that want to reach out to learn about your agency game, to learn about the product space, to learn about what's like being a serial entrepreneur and running two businesses at the same time, where can they find you? Where can they connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn if you look up Kevin Weatherall, or just feel free to reach out to my agency email at kevin@fluentimarketing.com.
And that's Weatherall, WEATHERALL, and Fluenti, FLUENTI. Anything
Yep.
else? We're good to go.
No, that's it. It's been great to be on here
Awesome.
with you today.
Awesome. Kevin, thank you so much. And guys, if you need help scaling your agency, you heard it here from Kevin, right? We are here to support you. We're here to help you in your journey. Don't be shy. Reach out. Cheers.